Occasion of Vijayadashmi day, we are starting that I am very much gratitude to my teacher, parents and my teachers and my fellow colleagues and all my students in my past more than 13 years of experience I got starting the start today for my class. First chapter is I am going to discuss about the probability theory. Before going to discuss about the topic, some clarifications that need the students. So those who are studied BSc statistics, of course they studied mathematics as allied and they are eligible, or BSc mathematics, computer science, computer application and BSc mathematics, economics, they can also appear for the examination provided they had studied statistics course as allied. That's very important. And one more thing, some postgraduate diploma in operation research, mathematical economics, these students also are eligible. And regarding that age limit, there is no age limit for BC, MBC and denotified communities, SC, ST and other than OCs, no age limit. This is very important. And OC, there is age limit for 32. So this is a very important aspect that few all must know. Other than OC community, that for OC community there is 32 age limit. For other than BC, either BC Muslim and BC Christians, MBC, denotified communities, SC, ST, SC Arundhadiyar and widows and destitute widows of all communities, no age limit. That is very important. So these are all some clarifications. And regarding that paper pattern, there is morning session, our subject, there is statistics or maths. If you suppose BSc computer science or BSc mathematics or BA economics, if you are interested to write statistics, you can choose statistics as optional subject. Otherwise, if you are interested to write in mathematics, you can write mathematics. So there is only two optionals, that with the 200 questions will be asked. In the 200 questions will be asked objective type, and evening session there is a common paper, compulsory Tamil and general knowledge. So in the compulsory, now the government of Tamil Nadu introduced the compulsory Tamil as a qualifying paper. Once the qualifying paper you are qualified, only the general knowledge part B, it will be corrected. Okay, so these are the conditions. So you have to choose. There is up to 14th you can apply for that assistant statistical investigators. There is also some concessions for that students, exemption from the examinations. Though you can go through that some instructions given by the TNPC, you can go through. If you have any doubt, you can clarify my phone number. I will give my phone number. So today, in the auspicious day, I am happy to thanks to Almighty that we are starting that assistant statistical investigator. I am already having that YouTube channel. My programs will be YouTube channel, you can see. On behalf of my colleagues, statistical colleagues, while I am doing Annamalai University, they have that motivated. So I am going to my teachers also motivated. Thank you very much. First I am going to discuss about the probability theory. First, this is a very basic topic because most of you studied about the descriptive statistics, about that measures of central tendency and the measures of dispersion, skewness, kurtosis. These are all you studied. So you already studied, no need of that much of importance. So that I am taking that very common subject for BSc statistics people and mathematics people, computer science and BA economics. They may find difficult. For this first session, I am going to discuss about that introduction about the probability theory, and after that my schedule is more or less 20 per month, or maybe 10 or 15 sessions or 20 sessions for a span over to 3 months. So today I am at the very first class. I am generally discussing about the theory aspect, And my next class related objective type questions I will send through my channel, and some students are in my group. Then I will send my question paper. You can answer at the end of this class. I will send the question paper. So there is, what do you mean by probability theory? You know that probable, that is a chance. If you suppose it's tossing a coin, there will be two possibilities. One is that head and another one is the tail. So that probability is that equal probability. There is 0.1 and 0.2. Therefore, probability of head you can get the chance of, and the probability of tail there is also chance of half. So if you get that equal probability, then if you add that P of ai is equal to 1 and P of ai equal to greater than or equal to 0. So these two conditions, if and only if these two conditions are satisfied, this is called probability of event, probable event. So any probability, before going for any discussion about the probability, you should understand that what do you mean by random events. What do you mean by random event? Random event or experiment. Random event or experiment. What do you mean by random experiment? That random experiment, if you suppose any identical conditions, if you toss a coin, that's one identical condition. What do you mean by identical condition? That you have that equal probability. Similarly, if you toss a coin, you will also get that equal probability of 1 by 6. If you toss a coin, that is equal to probability of ei, that is equal to 1 by 6 for all eyes. So this is a random experiment. Then each of the random experiment, you are getting in the identical conditions. While you are conducting a random experiment, you are getting the all possible outcomes. That all possible outcomes has the equal probability, as well as each of the probability should be equal to 0 or greater than 0, and the total probability equal to 1. If these two conditions are satisfied, that is called the probability measure. This is called the probability measure. Okay, so now you can understand. That probability, what do you mean by random experiment? From the random experiment, how you are defining that event, and after defining the event, what are the events? Here events is head and tail is the events. If you toss a coin, there is 6 possibilities, each are the events. If these events are satisfies these two conditions, then that is called the probability measure. So what do you mean by random experiment and random event and probability measure? So how they will give objective questions will be asked. For example, they will give that definition. Probability of ai is greater than or equal to 0. So the total sum of the probability a equal to 1. Then probability measure is a. They will give some alternative objectives. Then you have to choose A or B. So whenever you are studying the theory, you should simultaneously, if you go through the past TNPSC questions, related objective type questions in the Indian Statistical Service, in the Indian Civil Service, in the another state UPSC conducting the Uttar Pradesh and Orissa, Karnataka, like that, there is lot of objective type questions in that competitive examination. So you can download, you can prepare. As my concern, I can just help you. That's all. I cannot give that assurance that you can get pass. Okay. So as being the Tamilians, we are nowadays statistics is getting very, very important. There is a rare statistics postgraduate faculties available, so that I am take the initiative in my tight schedule. Okay. And because of my probability theory, there is 3 types of probability. You know very well. If you studied in allied statistics in BSc mathematics or BSc computer science or BC allied course, you have studied 3 types of probability theory. That various theory questions: define, classical definition, axiomatic definition, the statistical definition of probability, their importance and limitations, like that. You go through the descriptive type questions. So before going that we discuss about that. For all possible outcome, P of A equal to N of A by N of S. So this is the mathematical definition or classical definition of the probability. P of A equal to N of A by N of S, where N of S is the all possible outcomes. N of A is the favorable event. So suppose I am tossing a coin. In the tossing a coin, there is suppose the 36 possibilities. I am choosing only the combination of 1, 1, 2, 1, like that, 2, 2, like that. There is only 6 possibilities. you have to study it in your allied class. So for all favorable outcome is 36, in which that favorable is 6. So this is the definition of the classical definition of the probability. What do you mean by statistical definition of probability? They may ask in that objective type questions. When the classical definition, it's only one condition: if the number of trials is infinite, the number of trials is infinite, the number of trials is infinite. This is the case of the statistical definition. In the statistical definition, the axiomatic definition, what do you mean by axiomatic definition of the probability? See, there is events, suppose while you are tossing a coin 36 times, 36, 6 comma 6, while your coin is tossing 36 possibilities. In that possibilities I am defining only adding the sub, that is odd number or even number. So there is AI, the set of events, there is set of events. The union of all the unions, the union of all the AIs and the summation of AI, then summation of PA equal to 1. The three conditions are satisfied, that is called the axiomatic definition of the probability. Okay. So far what we discussed. So probability introduction, the introduction about the probability theory. Before going for the introduction, we should know about what do you mean by random experiment, what is a random event, from that random event how to define the probability measure, and what is the, then only we got to come for that the three basic definitions of the probability theory. One is the classical definition, another one is the axiomatic definition, another one is the statistical definition of the probability theory. Okay, then we will go for the today's session. What is the basic theorems of the probability? That I am not going to explain about the proof and all, you have to study, that I am giving that highlights. The probability is always lies between 0 to 1. Then complementary probability, P of A complement equal to 1 minus P of A. 1 minus P of A. Then addition, this is called the addition theorem of two probability. P of A union B equal to P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B. So one of the important objective questions may be asked in that, if A comma B are, that your faculty members will explain about P of A union B equal to P of A plus P of B in the remark. If A comma B are mutually independent events, that this term will be 0, this will be reduced to the 0, then you are getting that P of A union B equal to P of A plus P of B. So this is the addition theorem for the two events. Similarly, you can extend for the addition theorem for the three events and addition theorem for the n events. So that objective type questions will be asked. Applying these basic theorems, they may give the numerical examples, and what you have in the 2 mark question or 2 mark question you worked out, that only answer will be given, you have to tick that. So this is the technique for the applying, because I am also qualified group 2 assistant statistical investigator examination. I attended the interview also, I cleared the written examination, but unfortunately I didn't get that much of exposure about that interview, so that I couldn't. So God may bless you to get that succeed in your exams. Then so that's what I mentioned here, that the subdivisions. First of all, that introduction about the probability theory, then basic theorems, then conditional probability. You know that what is a conditional probability? If already one event is happened, so both events should be happened, that one already that event is happened, P of A given B equal to N of B by N of A. For example, a male having the practice of smoking practice. So first event you should be the male and B is the smoking habit. Therefore, N of A intersection B and N of B. Okay. So what do you mean by independent events? P of A intersection B equal to P of A into P of B. Then P of A comma B are independent events. Okay. Then these are all there in the topic of probability theory. More or less, I subdivided as a 5 subdivisions. That is introduction about the probability theory. Then I will send my objective type questions related to basic theorems and the conditional probability and independent events. Some of the students gave that in group. I will send that question paper. You have to answer it and send me. And otherwise, YouTube connection will be also available. You can download it. And already regarding my online class, I conducted to my class students, and that is already sent it. You can follow. Then, what do you mean by mathematical expectation? What do you mean by? Okay, what do you mean by mathematical expectation? That mathematics, before going for the mathematical expectation, you have to discuss about the random variable. What do you mean by random variable? Random variable. See, in the random variable, That random variable is a real number associated with all possible outcomes, that is called the random variable. Suppose if I am tossing a coin 2 times as h comma t, then there is possibility of ht, th, ht, tt and ht. So there is 4 possibilities, tht, th, tt and hh. Okay, so this is the small, so this is the elementary sample space, this is the collection of all sample space. I am defining that event of that event, there is one event, I am defining that event, there is that 0 comma 1 comma 2. How to define this event? How to define this event? So define, I am assuming that event of number of hits happening, here 0 hits, here 0 hits, here 2 heads, there is no head, 1 head, 2 are head. So this is the event I defined. So this is for the corresponding random variable. So this is called that x1, this is x1, this is x2, this is x3, this is a random variable. For this random variable you can have that probability space, you have to probability space, it is x, 0, 1 and 2. So this is the probability random variable, that associated probability space. So this is the probability space. Then using this probability space you can continue the mathematical expectation of x equal to summation of x into p of x for the discrete case, and continuous case x into f of x dx equal to continuous case. So these are all that mathematical. Then you have to go through the properties of the expectation and the properties of variance and the covariance, correlation, regression. See, these are all called as the univariate, mathematical expectation of the univariate case. Then we will discuss for the continuous case in the next session. So the related topics are moment generating function and the definition for the properties, some examples, these are all related with the discrete case as well as the continuous case, and characteristics function. You have to go through that properties, inversion property, inversion theorem, continuity theorem, right continuous, like that. Then probability generating function and Chebyshev inequality. These are all you studied in more or less the second unit of the allied mathematics students and computer science student. So this is the topics of the mathematical expectation. Then next topic we will discuss about the bivariate distribution. Then we are called the bivariate distribution. In that bivariate random variable case we will continue the next session. These are all the today discussion about that introduction about the probability theory and mathematical expectation, the random variables and the mathematical expectation, random variable and mathematical expectation, and regarding that the highlights. So you have to go through the discrete type questions and I will send that objective type questions, bivariate random variable. If there is any doubt you can clarify. Thank you.